Last year, Alabama was a Final Four team in their first 4 NCAA tournament games. 4-0 straight up, 4-0 against the spread. Then they ran into UConn, and UConn was able to control pace against them in the Final Four. And the Crimson Tide ended up losing by double digits because they faced a team that could control pace against them. And the Crimson Tide in this tournament, this year, well, first round against Robert Morris, and Robert Morris was comfortable playing fast. And so was Alabama, and Robert Morris was able to score enough points to hang within the number. Game went over the total in the last couple of minutes. Alabama didn't really sniff a point spread cover in that contest, even though they controlled it. You never felt like Alabama was going to lose that game. They just weren't going to win it by 20 or 30 points, and they didn't. But the key here, in this bettor's opinion, as we break down St. Mary's against Alabama on Sunday in round of 32 action, the key here for me is the pace of this game. We talked about what happened last year when UConn was able to control pace against Alabama. Now they're playing a team in St. Mary's that has also been pretty good at controlling pace. Let's talk about it. Teddy Covers from wagertalk.com with a big game breakdown. Alabama and St. Mary's. Round of 32 on Sunday. And right now, looking at my Odds Logic live odds screen, Alabama pretty much 5.5 across the board. Total sitting anywhere from 148 to 149 in this one as I record about 24 hours before tip-off between the Crimson Tide and the Gaels. But obviously last year, great run for Bama. They ran into a team that plays defense. Well, look at Alabama so far in 20. And again, I'm not going to overstate what's happened the last week or two for the Crimson Tide. But this team hasn't played their best basketball down the stretch this year. All right. They've now, 3-3 in their last 6 ball games. And admittedly, they've been stepping up in class. They're playing really tough teams. But what they're not doing is doing well when they're not getting out and running. Nobody runs against St. Mary's. You can't do it. All right? The Gaels get back on every possession. They don't crash the offensive glass. They are slow and methodical offensively. And that grinding style wears teams down. Alabama's not a team that's going to get worn down. But I do not expect Alabama to be able to get up and down and run in this game, which means they're going to have to execute in the half court. And maybe they will. But we've seen more than once this year the Crimson Tide, when asked to execute exclusively in the half court, that's where they struggle. St. Mary's had some ugly losses early in the season. They really did. They got blown out on opening day. It was what was that? On opening day, they got killed. Oh no, I'm thinking of somebody else. Sorry, but they had some ugly. They lost to Arizona State. They had a Boise loss they shouldn't have had. Utah State beat them. That was then. This is all non-conference play. We look at this team down the stretch. They were as tough as nails. And again, they did lose in the Western Conference Tournament Finals against Gonzaga, but they shot 0 for the game from three-point range in that contest. If they shoot 0 for here, they're not going to cover. But I would expect them to make at least a handful of three-pointers this time around. Most importantly, I expect the pace to be the Gaels' pace. Slow, methodical, long possessions. Exactly the opposite of what Alabama wants to do. I think that works in St. Mary's favor. So the lean here is towards the dog. The lean here is towards the under. And that's my take for Alabama, St. Mary's. I know it's hard to step in front of the top teams, but guess what? We didn't see a whole lot of upsets in the first round. I think we'll see a fair few here in the round of 32. And certainly Alabama on the list of teams that could go bye-bye on Sunday. Appreciate the likes, appreciate the follows, appreciate the comments. Check out the packages at wagertalk.com. Guys, I'm running pretty good. All right, 8-3 my last 11 in college hoops, 73%. I'm on a 75% all sports run. The NBA's been good. We closed out baseball on a good run. And the offer I'm about to give you, $2.99 for the month of April. Oh, by the way, you get all the rest of March free. So you get all the madness and NBA through to the playoffs and the start of baseball season, all included. There's nothing more to buy. There's no bait and switch. There's no nonsense. Check it out, wt.buzz/TC. Appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy day to watch my video. Best of luck with all your bets this weekend, and thanks for watching Wager Talk TV. Cheers.